Among countless species of poultry, there is one bird hailed as the aristocrat of the grasslands, not only for its exceptional nutritional value, but also for its proud, noble temperament. That bird is the pheasant, a symbol of luxury in sporting hunts, once reserved solely for the elite. But behind its regal demeanor and dazzling plumage lies an industry worth more than $1.5 billion USD annually, where pheasants serve as a vital commodity. From the vast farms across Europe, where pheasants are raised under strict conditions and carefully tended until the day of harvest, to the lavish hunting grounds in the United States, exclusive playgrounds of the elite. This bird has always been tied to notions of luxury. With its high value and distinctive flavor, the pheasant has transcended the image of ordinary poultry to become a rare delicacy, securing its place in the world of fine dining. Now, join Agriculture Insight on a fascinating journey to the world of pheasants and discover how these birds have transformed from wild creatures into gourmet treasures. Imagine stepping into vast forests and endless grasslands, where the morning sun spills golden light across the shimmering plumage of a bird that has accompanied humankind for thousands of years. This is South Dakota, the pheasant capital of the United States. Each year, millions of birds are raised here, not only to provide precious meat and eggs, but also to sustain a thriving market that surpasses many other nations in both scale and value. Draped in plumage that glimmers like woven silk, the pheasant strides into the meadow like an aristocrat in all its splendor. Yet behind that dazzling appearance lies a heightened vigilance and fierce temperament, especially during the breeding season. To maintain order and protect the value of each bird, many farms must attach pecking restrictors, as if bestowing every feathered knight with a safety lock on the battlefield of instinct. Unlike turkeys in industrial farms, pheasants are still raised in open environments, retaining their untamed spirit. They can take short flights of 100 to 200 meters, reaching takeoff speeds of nearly 90 kilometers per hour, a rare ability among poultry that humans have long domesticated. And from these pheasants, a part of them embark on a very different journey, not to the kitchen but to the bustling autumn fields, where the tradition and passion of hunting are revived season after season. Pheasant farming in the United States takes on a form unlike any other branch of poultry farming. Each year, more than 10 million birds are raised, yet most will never go straight to the kitchen. When autumn arrives, they are released into the wild, becoming the quarry of hunting seasons that stretch into the winter. In states like South Dakota and Iowa, hundreds of thousands of hunters gather, bringing dogs, caravans, and a host of gear, turning golden fields into a vibrant tableau of a tradition rooted in centuries of history. The barking of dogs, the crunch of footsteps on dry leaves, the frantic beating of pheasant wings, all merge with the echo of gunshots, creating an experience that is at once a sport and a vital part of the local economy. In England, the scale is even greater, with tens of millions of birds released each year and an entire ecosystem of lodging, gastronomy, and land conservation revolving around the hunting season. For many, the true value lies not only in the final product, but in the very moment of touching a tradition preserved and repeated across generations. Yet pheasants are more than just game birds. They stand at the crossroads of recreation, agriculture, conservation, tradition, and even ethical debate. Few realize that these prized birds were once regarded as a luxury dish, and that their origins trace not to Europe, but to Asia. Within just a few decades, they adapted swiftly, becoming part of the ecosystem of the American Midwest, from South Dakota to Iowa, Kansas, and Nebraska. Today, the breeding and release of millions of pheasants each year is organized with a professionalism rivaling that of livestock or broiler farming. Join us as we explore the journey of the pheasant, from egg to the moment it takes flight across the grasslands, by visiting the farms where this remarkable story begins. Every journey begins with an egg. At pheasant farms across the Midwest, breeding is carried out under two main models: fully industrial and semi-wild. In both systems, hens are carefully selected based on genetic health, egg productivity, and maternal instincts. The incubation process begins right at the farm, where workers collect each egg from the nests. Only those that meet strict standards, intact shells, balanced shape, and uniform size, are chosen to ensure the highest hatching rates. Once collected, the eggs are taken to a sanitation area and gently washed with warm water from a heating system, a process that removes dirt and destroys bacteria without damaging the egg's natural protective membrane. Next, the eggs are carefully placed into specialized paper trays, each holding several dozen. Before moving them to the incubator, workers gently tap the eggs against one another or use light candling to check their sound and clarity, detecting hollow eggs or hidden cracks that the eye might miss. Only those that pass this test are kept to ensure a high hatching rate. Once ready, the eggs are transferred to the incubator, where the temperature is kept steady at around 37.5 degrees Celsius and humidity at 55 to 60%, precisely replicating the natural conditions of a brooding hen. Over the course of nearly 3 weeks, an automated system turns the eggs several times a day, allowing the embryos to develop evenly and preventing them from sticking to the shell. Every factor, from temperature and humidity to the turning cycles, is carefully controlled, for even the smallest deviation could mean the difference between life and death for the young pheasants growing inside. After about 23-25 days of incubation, life begins to stir quietly within the fragile shell. The young pheasant waits patiently for its moment, then starts tapping with its tiny, still damp beak, striking rhythmically against the shell and creating the first cracks. Each tap is like a declaration of its imminent escape from the confined world that has sheltered it for so long. The shell gradually breaks apart, revealing a small body covered in soft down of brown and golden hues. At once a natural coat for warmth and perfect camouflage in the wild. Still drenched and trembling on unsteady legs, it takes its first breaths, slowly opens its eyes, and greets the warm light of a new world, where the journey of survival and growth is only just beginning. Immediately after hatching, the chicks are moved to a brooding house, an enclosed space lined with straw or sawdust to preserve heat and reduce slipping, while shielding them from drafts to create maximum safety. The temperature is kept between 32 to 35 degrees Celsius during the first week, then gradually lowered week by week to help them adapt to the natural climate. Light and humidity are carefully regulated to stimulate feeding instincts and encourage activity, crucial for pheasants. Known for their agility, nutrient-rich feed is placed in long troughs or multi-compartment round trays, making it easy for chicks to reach without spillage, while water is provided to inverted bottles with shallow catch trays, both practical and designed to keep their feathers dry. This meticulous care, combined with their innate wild instincts, makes pheasant chicks sturdier and more resilient than many other poultry species from their very first days of life. On large pheasant farms in the United States, there is one task that may sound simple, yet it is key to protecting the entire flock, fitting beak masks on the young birds. The purpose of this practice comes directly from pheasant behavior. In high-density environments, they are prone to pecking feathers, fighting, and even inflicting serious injuries on one another. The beak mask acts like a tiny shield. It limits direct vision and softens the force of each peck, turning potentially harmful strikes into harmless gestures. Thanks to this, their plumage remains intact, their health is preserved, and the flock lives in greater harmony. At just a few weeks old, the chicks are gathered in small groups inside a quiet room. Farmers carefully catch each one, holding it firmly yet gently enough to prevent panic. With a swift and practiced motion, they slip a small plastic ring, often blue or yellow, through the beak. Today, in the United States, this technique has become standard practice in many commercial game bird farms, especially in states where sport hunting is widespread. For farmers, it is both a humane and effective solution, allowing the birds to thrive until they reach market weight or are released back into the wild. Once they are fully grown and strong enough to withstand a new environment, pheasants are loaded onto trucks in golden yellow plastic crates, stacked neatly like massive Lego blocks. Each crate is securely locked, designed to provide ventilation so the birds can breathe easily while preventing them from pushing against each other or escaping, ready for the journey to larger enclosures where their next stage of growth awaits. These new pens are encircled by sturdy netting, serving both as a shield against predators and as a barrier to stop these skilled flyers from escaping. Inside, the space is arranged like a natural training ground. Wooden perches set at different heights provide ideal vantage points for the pheasants to rest, sharpen their reflexes, and maintain their innate wariness. The flooring changes with the seasons to mimic the wild as closely as possible, covered in crisp white snow during winter, and layered with sand or dry straw in warmer months, offering comfort and familiarity beneath their feet. Above, a canopy combined with overhead netting not only keeps the flock contained, but also blocks wild birds and animals from intruding. Pheasant meat is unlike the heavy fattiness of duck or the melt-in-your-mouth tenderness of industrial chicken. It carries a different kind of refinement, firm, lean fibers, long muscle strands, and a flavor that is bold yet delicate, leaving a lingering sweetness at the back of the throat, like the scent of fresh grass still wet with morning dew drifting on an autumn breeze. In fine European restaurants, roast pheasant is regarded as the true test of a chef. The thin skin crisps to perfection, glistening with a bronze sheen, enveloping the meat within, juicy yet springy, each bite seeming to melt while still holding its resilience. The fragrance of thyme, butter, and white wine intertwines, evoking memories of a hunting season banquet in an old castle. With braised pheasant, patience is essential. The meat is slowly simmered with brandy, wild mushrooms, and root vegetables, allowing every fiber to absorb layers of deep, complex flavor. Each spoonful reveals a progression of tastes, the sweetness of the meat, the gentle richness of the broth, and the subtle astringency of the wine upon the tongue. And then there is pheasant soup, an entirely different story, rustic and comforting. The broth is crystal clear, carrying a natural sweetness, laced with the aroma of onion and celery. A single sip spreads warmth through the body, as if cradling the golden autumn forest itself within your hands. Black chicken is not just food, it is the limited edition embodiment of the highest tier in the poultry world. While modern poultry farming primarily focuses on fast-growing, low-cost, easy-to-raise industrial breeds, black chicken takes a different path. Stricter rearing standards, longer growth periods, yet delivering value many times greater. From its skin and flesh to its bones and internal organs, every part of a black chicken is infused with dense melanin pigment. the very trait that makes it a symbol of rarity, rich nutrition, and highly regarded medicinal properties. China currently leads the world in black chicken farming and consumption, producing an estimated 20 million birds each year, nearly 50% of global output. Here, black chicken is not only a food source but also a long-standing medicinal ingredient in traditional Chinese medicine, trusted for centuries. Compared to industrial chicken, black chicken meat is firmer, leaner, and far richer in nutrients, particularly amino acids, iron, and natural collagen. A single black chicken can cost 3 to 5 times more than a regular bird, while ultra-rare breeds like the ayam shamani can fetch thousands of dollars each. And now, let's return to the very starting point of all black chicken value, the farms, where they begin life before becoming the superstars of the poultry world. First and foremost, to establish a standard black chicken farm, understanding their living environment and how to set up the housing is the primary and most crucial requirement. Black chickens adapt well to natural conditions, but they are more sensitive than regular chickens to sudden changes in temperature, humidity, and light. Therefore, the housing system must be designed scientifically and flexibly. Elevated, well-ventilated, protected from drafts, yet ensuring proper air circulation. Unlike industrial facilities for raising fast-growing white broilers, black chicken farming often favors a semi-natural model. Coops with outdoor runs, disinfected rice husk bedding, enclosed brooding areas for chicks, and spacious zones for adult birds to move freely. Stocking density is lower than that of regular chickens to reduce stress and promote uniform flock growth. Feeding and watering systems, heating lamps, cooling devices, and even quarantine areas are all strategically arranged to ensure comprehensive care throughout the entire rearing cycle. Next comes breed selection, a factor that directly determines the quality of the flock. From the very start, farmers must select healthy, standard-compliant roosters and hens with no deformities. A single high-quality rooster can effectively mate with 8 to 12 hens, ensuring a generation of chicks that are uniform, healthy, and true to breed. After mating, black hens enter their laying phase with good physical condition and stable productivity. Each black chicken egg is not just an ordinary agricultural product. It is the culmination of nutrition, rare genetics, and special care, with a value many times higher than that of industrial eggs. For this reason, laying hens are kept separately in quiet, well-ventilated housing and provided with a priority diet. Rations rich in calcium, protein, vitamins, fresh greens, and minerals. For farmers, each healthy laying hen is essentially a biological gold printing machine, requiring attentive care to maintain consistent yield and quality. Black chickens are not prolific layers, but every egg they produce carries its own unique value. On average, they lay only about 2 to 3 eggs per week, but in return, the deep brown shell with a charcoal violet hue, as if coated in melanin, is a distinctive mark unmatched by any other breed. The yolk, dense and rich in micronutrients, is considered by chefs to be a natural premium ingredient, impossible to replace with industrial eggs. Egg collection cannot be rushed. Every early morning and late afternoon, when the flock is calm, workers carefully inspect each straw nest by hand, picking up the eggs gently to avoid any impact. The eggs are placed in individual soft trays and transported to a cool storage room under strict conditions. Behind every egg is not mass production, but an entire process of sustainable farming where quality is always the top priority. From these very eggs begins the journey of the next generation of black chickens. However, not every egg meets the standards for hatching. Therefore, the incubation process is carried out with extreme precision. Each egg is candled to inspect the embryo, eliminating any that are damaged or non-viable. Only those that pass are placed into automated incubators, where temperature, humidity, and egg-turning cycles are controlled with absolute accuracy. This ensures a high hatch rate, producing healthy, uniform chicks, preserving the quality of this rare and specialty breed. After 21 days lying still within their thick shells, each egg begins to tremble slightly before suddenly cracking. The first black chicks emerge, not golden yellow like regular chicks, but saturated with melanin pigment from the very moment they hatch. Every hatching is a precisely timed birth, where black is not a sign of the unusual, but living proof of a rare genetic line being reborn. Immediately after breaking free from their shells, the newborn black chicks are moved straight to the brooding area, an enclosed space with disinfected rice husk bedding, where the temperature is kept stable at 32 to 35 degrees Celsius using infrared heat lamps. For black chickens, this stage is not merely about warmth, it is the first critical step that determines their coloration, immunity, and survival rate in the future. Unlike regular chicks, black chicks possess an extremely dense melanin pigment system, which makes them less capable of regulating their own body temperature, requiring absolute stability in their brooding environment. Their diet is specially formulated, finely ground pellets rich in protein and minerals to support strong bone development and maintain their signature dark pigmentation. Clean drinking water is placed at a low height, enriched with electrolytes and probiotics to activate the immune system from the very first days. Every parameter, from humidity levels to light intensity, is monitored with specialized equipment. With a breed as valuable as this, even a few degrees of temperature fluctuation or sudden environmental change can affect the entire flock. This is why caring for black chicks demands higher technical expertise and much stricter supervision compared to raising regular chickens, because every individual that survives and grows to standard is truly a living asset. Due to the slow but steady approach in raising them, vaccinating black chickens is something that cannot be neglected. This is not just a technical step, it is a way of reinforcing their immune system, like putting a biological suit of armor on a breed that is naturally sensitive to its environment. Starting from the second week, black chickens are vaccinated or given eye drops with the Lesota vaccine to prevent Newcastle disease, a highly contagious illness that can cause serious losses if not prevented in time. From the 4th to the 6th week, they continue to receive other vaccines, either through injection or drinking water, such as those for gumboro, fowl cholera, enteritis, and infectious bronchitis. All of these must be administered according to schedule, as even a slight deviation in timing can affect the health and uniform growth of the entire flock. Particularly for black chickens, which tend to grow slowly and have lower resistance compared to industrial breeds, sticking to the vaccination schedule not only protects the flock, but also builds a solid immune foundation for the many months of rearing ahead. Missing a single shot can sometimes mean not just losing a few chickens, but losing the entire batch. After about 30 days, the black chicken flock enters a stage of rapid growth. At this point, the rearing density begins to feel cramped as the birds grow quickly, with firm bodies and black feathers covering them from head to toe, a sign that melanin is developing well and the breed is meeting its genetic standard. When the flock starts growing fast and crowding the old space, the coop is expanded immediately. Temporary partitions are removed, a fresh layer of rice husk is spread, and additional feeders and drinkers are provided to meet their increasing needs. B40 wire mesh is installed along the perimeter, creating a more open space while keeping flock density under control. Compared to most purebred chicken varieties, black chickens tend to be more sensitive and are prone to stress or even mild depression if their living environment is monotonous or their diet lacks variety. Therefore, farmers need to provide a diverse feeding regimen, not relying solely on compound pellets, but combining natural food sources such as whole grains, chopped greens, worms, or insects. Black chickens are not industrially fattened, but raised for sustainable growth, slower but steady, resulting in firm, lean meat that retains its original flavor and distinctive quality. Once they reach market standards, the chickens are harvested and transported to processing plants, moving one step closer to fulfilling their mission of serving consumers worldwide. As soon as they are transported to the processing plant, black chickens go through a closed, fully controlled process, where every step is carried out with precision and synchronization to ensure the highest commercial quality. After being defeathered, the chickens are eviscerated and inspected for hygiene. Everything done under inspection lights and on a high-speed moving line. Once processed, the meat is rinsed with high-pressure cold water and immediately transferred to the vacuum packaging area. Each black chicken is carefully packed, labeled for traceability, and stored in cold storage, ready to be shipped as a premium product. The United States ranks only 6th in the world for octopus catch volume, behind China and several other coastal nations. Yet it's the country's network of advanced processing plants, stretching from California to Rhode Island, that truly surprises the world. Hundreds of tons of freshly caught octopus are handled daily with near-perfect precision, rapidly frozen and exported across 5 continents, turning the U.S. into one of the most sophisticated octopus processing powerhouses on the planet. The octopus is a creature that sparks both fascination and confusion. What most people mistake for its head is actually its body, housing all its internal organs. And its mouth? It's located right in the center of its arms, used to bite and feed, and sits alarmingly close to the anus. As if that weren't strange enough, when mating season arrives, male octopuses don't reproduce in the usual way. Instead, they use a specialized arm called the hectocotylus to deliver sperm into the female's body, sometimes detaching the arm entirely in the process. Gentle in appearance, the octopus is in fact a true predator of the deep. Armed with 8 powerful sucker-lined arms, it wraps tightly around prey, restrains every movement, and then pierces through crab shells with its sharp, beak-like mouth. When threatened, it releases a dense cloud of black ink, creating the perfect smokescreen to vanish in the blink of an eye. Each year, the world consumes over 3 million tons of octopus, and much of that is caught using traditional methods, by trap. Not with trawl nets or massive industrial vessels, but with millions of ceramic or plastic pots dropped to the seafloor by fishermen, mimicking the rocky crevices octopuses love to hide in. In offshore fishing grounds across the Pacific, especially in Japan, South Korea, and the US West Coast, small boats set out as early as 2 or 3 a.m. Octopuses are solitary creatures that hunt at night and retreat to shelter at the first light of dawn. If the traps aren't retrieved in time, they slip away, leaving only empty pots behind. Each boat may carry between 500 and 3,000 traps, operating continuously for days at sea. And this isn't just a hunt for seafood. It's a strategic contest with one of the ocean's most intelligent creatures. In Japan and several coastal regions of China, an ancient method of octopus fishing is still practiced, using a single fishing rod with a sharp hook. No bait, no traps, just a swift jerk of the hand when sensing the subtle pull from the depths. As soon as the octopus breaches the surface, fishermen immediately stab a metal hook into its body and haul it straight onto the deck, because even the slightest delay could see the creature slip away and vanish into the night like a ghost. It may look simple, but this technique demands lightning-fast reflexes and a firm grip, since a fully grown octopus can weigh up to 10 kilograms, slippery and fiercely struggling. What's more, the octopus has no bones. Its body is so flexible it can squeeze through a gap the size of its own eye. That makes holding onto it once it's hooked not just a challenge, but an unforgiving duel between man and one of the ocean's greatest masters of disguise. In the Mediterranean, where deep blue waves kiss ancient coastal villages, many fishermen still rely on traditional octopus fishing using set nets, a method that has lasted for centuries. Long nets are quietly laid out along rocky reefs at night, waiting for unsuspecting octopuses to wander in during their hunt. While not the most efficient, sometimes hundreds of meters of net yield only a few octopuses, tangled with seaweed, small fish, and ocean debris. This method has one major advantage. The octopuses are often still alive and healthy when the boats return to port. This ensures optimal freshness as they're sent directly to processing facilities. And so, despite the rise of modern technology, many coastal communities in the Mediterranean remain loyal to their time-worn nets, preserving both tradition and the essence of the sea. After the initial pre-processing, the octopus is sent directly to the washing area for thorough external cleaning, preparing it for the next in-depth processing steps. Living close to the seafloor, octopuses often hide in rock crevices, coral, or sandy caves, so their bodies are usually covered in mud, sand, algae, and a protective slime layer. If not properly washed, these impurities can affect both the quality and flavor. That's why this rough cleaning step is mandatory before any further treatment. The octopuses are transferred to a specialized spinning washer, where cold water and centrifugal force work together to remove most of the slime and debris on the skin. This device functions like an industrial seafood washing machine. Octopuses are placed into a spinning chamber, where high-pressure cold water continuously sprays while the chamber rotates, stripping away the sticky layer and contaminants. On average, each cycle can clean 150 to 200 kilograms of octopus in just a few minutes, equivalent to the output of about 15 to 20 workers operating manually. However, due to their many deep grooves and suction cups, slime often remains in areas the machine can't reach. At this stage, workers must hand scrub each octopus using a specialized soft brush, focusing especially on the spaces between tentacles, where bacteria tend to accumulate if not thoroughly cleaned. On average, one worker can clean about 80 to 100 octopuses per hour. This is not just a hygiene step, it's a meticulous, repetitive, and highly precise process. After washing, the octopuses are sorted by weight and size, usually divided into three main categories: under 500 grams, between 500 and 1,000 grams, and over 1 kilogram. After sorting, the octopuses are divided into two main processing directions. Larger ones continue to the boiling and freezing line, while the smaller ones, often referred to as baby octopuses, are taken to the tray packing area. Here, workers carefully arrange each baby octopus into stainless steel trays, with their heads and tentacles aligned in the same direction to form neat, organized rows. Once neatly arranged, the trays are sent straight into the deep freezing chamber. Inside, the temperature is rapidly reduced to below -35 degrees using advanced cooling systems, freezing the octopuses within 1 to 2 hours. This process locks in freshness, preserves the original shape, and inhibits microbial growth. After freezing, each tray is separated, and the octopuses are vacuum-packed in PE bags, passed through a metal detector for food safety, then boxed, labeled with traceability info, and stored at Biny 20, ready for export worldwide. For larger octopuses, post-harvest handling isn't as straightforward as with baby octopuses. Instead of being frozen immediately, they must undergo an important thermal bath, parboiling at 95 to 100 degrees Celsius for several minutes. This step is key to preserving firmness, shape, and color. Skipping it could result in mushy, bland flesh with no elasticity, greatly reducing commercial value. Under near-perfect temperatures, the meat firms up, retaining its moisture and natural sweetness. Then comes the magical transformation. In just a few minutes of boiling water, the octopuses turn from pale gray to a vibrant reddish pink. This color shift isn't due to dyes or tricks. It's a natural biological reaction. You're probably familiar with boiling common seafood, but have you ever wondered why this strange phenomenon happens? Immediately after boiling, the octopuses are plunged into a deep cold water tank for a thermal shock, a crucial step that instantly halts the cooking process, preserves firmness, and prevents overcooking. Without this step, residual heat would continue to cook the meat from within, breaking down the protein structure and resulting in mushy texture and loss of elasticity. From the cold tank, the octopuses move onto a drainage conveyor, where tiny grooves and a stream of cool air help dry the surface quickly and evenly. This preparation step is essential before packaging, as excess moisture can negatively impact both flavor and shelf life. After being perfectly boiled, the bright red octopuses are quickly transferred to the preliminary packaging area, where every operation takes place in a strictly sterile environment. Here, workers carefully arrange each octopus into specialized golden trays, ensuring they lie neatly without bending or overlapping, preserving their elegant appearance like a true culinary artwork. The trays are then wheeled straight into a cold storage room, where the temperature is consistently maintained between 0 and 2 degrees Celsius. This isn't just refrigeration, it's a resting phase that allows the octopus meat to reach optimal texture and freshness, ideal for sashimi slicing or final stage packaging. In the final stage, modern industrial systems take over. Whole octopuses and separated tentacles are placed into form-fitted trays, then passed through a high-speed vacuum sealing and film wrapping line. This all happens at lightning pace, thousands of trays per hour, ensuring that every product meets strict hygiene standards, comes with traceable origins, and is ready to conquer premium supermarket shelves and the world's most demanding markets. If mozzarella is as soft as a flowing stream and cheddar as rich as melting fat, then Parmesan stands like a crystal of time, solid, profound, and enduring. To craft a single 40-kilogram wheel of Parmesan, it takes more than 500 liters of fresh milk and at least 1 year of silent aging, under strict control from ingredients to temperature. Parmesan crumbles in the mouth, releasing its signature burst of rich umami, packed with protein, calcium, and naturally almost free of lactose. So concentrated that just a small amount provides as much protein as a full glass of milk and more calcium than a slice of lean beef. Parmesan is not just cheese. It is milk, time, and the essence of nature, compressed into every small golden shard. Few people know that in the Emilia-Romagna region, certified wheels of Parmesan are even used as collateral for bank loans, treated like real gold. A single wheel can be worth thousands of euros, and its value only grows with time. Among the thousands of cheeses in the world, only Parmesan holds the prestige to be considered a financial asset. So if you could choose just one, would it be Parmesan, cheddar, or mozzarella? In the early mornings across Emilia-Romagna, as the sunlight gently touches the endless green fields, farmers begin harvesting fresh grass, a nutrient-rich source of feed prepared daily for their cows. At the same time, the cows roam freely across natural pastures, leisurely grazing and enjoying a life of freedom, peace, and comfort. This careful care and ideal living environment are what lay the foundation for producing pure, fresh milk. The very beginning of the journey to create the legendary Parmesan wheels. At the farm, the cows live in a comfortable, clean, and safe environment. They rest in spacious barns, equipped with automatic misting systems to help cool them down during the summer heat. Many farms even install rotating massage brushes, allowing cows to walk up and enjoy a good scratch and muscle relaxation after long hours of grazing. The cows are also bathed regularly to keep their skin clean, lower their body temperature, and prevent skin diseases. Each animal follows a routine health check schedule, from monitoring body temperature and nutrition to testing milk quality, all to ensure the cows remain healthy, comfortable, and content. A key moment in the farming cycle is when a cow gives birth to a calf after about 9 months of pregnancy. The newborn calf is cared for separately and fed colostrum in the first few days to build natural immunity through vital antibodies. After the calf has finished nursing, the mother cow enters a regular milking cycle, twice a day. Before milking, the udder is washed with warm water to remove dirt, stimulate natural milk flow, and quickly inspect each teat for early signs of issues such as swelling, inflammation, or discoloration, the first indicators of mastitis. A healthy cow typically produces around 25 to 30 liters of milk per day, although output can vary depending on weather conditions, diet, and the postpartum stage. If milking is delayed or performed incorrectly, cows can experience painful udder engorgement, leading to stress and a significant drop in milk yield. Meanwhile, after about 2 to 3 months, calves are weaned and separated from their mothers. Healthy female calves continue to be raised to become the next generation of dairy cows. In contrast, male calves, or those that do not meet breeding standards, are typically sent to slaughterhouses, where their young stomachs are collected to produce natural rennet, an essential enzyme used in the traditional milk coagulation process for making authentic Parmesan cheese. Returning to the stream of fresh milk from the mother cows, the first precious ingredient in the journey to create legendary Parmesan. The moment the milk is drawn, it immediately enters a race against temperature and bacteria. Fresh milk is extremely sensitive. Within just a few hours at room temperature, bacteria begin to multiply rapidly, altering its quality, flavor, and nutritional value. To prevent this, farms use rapid cooling systems. Once collected, the milk is channeled directly into sealed stainless steel tanks and quickly cooled to around 4 degrees Celsius, the ideal temperature to preserve its natural enzymes, freshness, and rich nutritional content. And now, let's move on to the most anticipated part, where streams of fresh milk begin their magical transformation into the legendary wheels of Parmesan. As soon as the milk arrives at the dairy, it is directed straight into massive copper vats, timeless symbols of the Parmesan craft, because copper conducts heat quickly and evenly, allowing for absolute temperature control, a critical factor in ensuring the proper structure and quality of the Parmesan curd, and gently heated to around 33 to 35 degrees Celsius. This is the golden temperature, precisely calculated to trigger natural coagulation while preserving the milk's precious microbial structure. Next, the cheesemaker adds chymosin, the only enzyme permitted under traditional methods, extracted from the stomach of a young calf. This enzyme causes the proteins in the milk to bind together, forming a smooth, dense curd, the foundation of Parmesan's firm and distinctive texture. At this stage, precision is everything. With Parmesan, even a 1-minute delay or a slight deviation in temperature is enough to ruin the entire batch, and the whole vat must be discarded. By strict standards, each vat produces exactly 2 wheels of Parmesan. with the enzyme stirring time tightly controlled between 10 and 12 minutes, all within an obsessively narrow temperature range. After the chymosin enzyme is added and gently stirred in, the milk begins to coagulate into a soft curd. At this stage, the cheesemaker uses a spino, a traditional wire tool, to cut the curd into uniform, rice-sized granules. Proper cutting helps separate the whey more efficiently and allows control over the cheese's moisture content from the start, a key factor in determining its firmness and aging potential. The cutting and heating process continues inside an inverted copper vat. This conical design allows the whey to settle at the bottom, while the curd granules sink and form a compact mass, easy to collect without mechanical pressing. This method preserves the curd's integrity, keeping it firm and consistent, as required by Parmigiano-Reggiano standards. From each batch, about 300 to 350 liters of whey can be recovered. None of it goes to waste. It is reheated and used to produce ricotta, a fresh cheese commonly used in Italian cooking. In this way, nearly every nutrient in the milk is fully utilized. As most of the whey separates and settles, the curd begins to sink to the bottom of the vat, still submerged in warm whey. At this point, the cheesemaker quickly slips their hands into the liquid, gathering the entire curd mass into a large linen cloth and lifting it carefully to preserve its delicate structure. Without delay, the curd is cut in half and placed into stainless steel molds, marking the first step in shaping Parmesan's iconic form. Can you guess? At this stage, each fresh wheel weighs nearly 100 kilograms and will eventually shrink to around 38 to 40 kilograms after months of aging. This step determines whether a Parmesan wheel can be officially recognized and sold around the world. Interestingly, no modern printing or laser technology is used here. Instead, cheesemakers wrap a soft plastic belt, pre-embossed with details such as the dairy's registration number, production area code, and production date, tightly around the mold. Over the next few hours, under natural pressure, the outer rind of the cheese will memorize all this information, creating a permanent, raised mark on its surface. Without the need for labels or ink, just one glance reveals the wheel's full traceability, and the mark can never be erased or forged. After being imprinted with its identifying marks, each wheel of Parmesan is transferred into a concentrated brine bath, an essential first step in developing its final flavor and texture. The wheels are soaked for 18 to 20 days, during which they are turned regularly to ensure that the salt penetrates deeply and evenly from all sides, helping to form a natural rind and a dense, resilient interior. An interesting detail is that the brine is not replaced after every batch. Instead, it is continuously reused, with strict regular monitoring of salinity and hygiene levels. Over time, this aging brine develops a unique microflora, subtly contributing to the distinctive character that sets Parmesan apart. After completing the brining process, the Parmesan wheels are carefully sorted based on their production date and the identification codes embossed on their rind. From there, they enter the aging phase, stored in special warehouses where temperature, humidity, and airflow are controlled with near-perfect precision. The aging period lasts at least 12 months and can extend to 24 or even 36 months for premium wheels. To maintain quality throughout the aging process, each wheel is regularly turned, cleaned, and brushed using specialized machines. This not only allows the rind to dry and harden naturally, but also prevents mold buildup and protects the interior, like a routine maintenance schedule for every wheel. When the aging period ends, certified inspectors from the consortium assess each wheel. If it passes all quality checks, it is fire-branded with a red-hot stamp bearing the Parmigiano-Reggiano name and DOP code. This fire mark is the final seal, a permanent symbol of authenticity and excellence that cannot be forged. Before being cut and packaged, each wheel of Parmesan passes through a specialized polishing machine. This machine uses high-speed rotating brushes to gently scrub the outer rind. After aging is complete, whole Parmesan wheels are moved into a specialized cutting chamber, where stainless steel blades are precisely designed to split each wheel in half without damaging the internal structure. Each half is then drilled with a small hole using a specialized tool to check the cheese's hardness, aroma, and internal consistency, key factors that determine its final quality. If the wheel meets all standards, it is further divided into blocks of 1 to 5 kilograms, or shredded or thinly sliced depending on market demand. Each piece is precisely weighed and labeled with full product information: production date, DOP region code, aging period, and traceability number. It is then vacuum sealed using modern air extraction machines to preserve freshness without the need for preservatives. Finally, the Parmesan packages go through a final check using weight sensors and X-ray scanners before being boxed, barcoded, and moved to cold storage, ready for distribution worldwide.